Good evening. Call to order the regular meeting of the Board of Education for June 15th, 2022. Will everyone please rise for the pledge to the flag? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. A reading of our mission statement. We are committed to academic achievement and success for all students in a safe environment. In partnership with families and our community, our mission is to promote confidence, inspire a passion for learning, and to prepare our students to become responsible global citizens. May I have a motion to approve the revised agenda?
Motion. Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. This evening, I am happy to say that we are here to recognize some of our wonderful students. So I will pass it over first, I believe, for the Special Olympics presentation, which is by Mr. Styler for the elementary level.
Good evening, Board of Education, Mrs. Rodriguez, and administration. I see the softball team coming in. I want to give them a round of applause. There are some Pine Tree students over there. I've been teaching at Monroe in Pine Tree close to 20 years. And I've known some of those girls over there since they were in second grade. It's great to see them. I've seen the dedication. Also, I was a coach, coaching modified football. And they were always out there on the field practicing on Saturdays. So their run to the States really started when they were in elementary and middle school. So let's give them another round of applause. Now, on behalf of all the elementary coaches, I would like to congratulate our 15 athletes on displaying excellent sportsmanship, dedication, and perseverance throughout this season. They attended monthly practices where they worked on improving their skill level at soccer and basketball. The athletes competed on Saturday, June 4th at Valley Central High School in Montgomery. Overall, as a team, they earned 8 gold medals, 9 silver medals, and 6 bronze medals. We are very proud of these athletes. Coach Kim DeCurcio, Coach Karen Escobar, Coach Soraya Myers, and I are honored to be their coaches. So without further ado, I would like to announce the names of the 15 extraordinary elementary Special Olympians that competed in the Monroe-Woodbury Special Olympics this 2021-2022 school year. Not all athletes are here, but athletes, when you do hear your name, please come up onto the stage. Ian Anderson, Emma Arjona, Yedmi Corona, Emerson Escobar, Landon Ferrero, Dylan Hernandez,
Did they get certificates?
Gavin Hopkins, Jenny Jones, Nyla Joseph, Alex Lopez, Jonathan Martinez, Isabella Pellington, Jackson Rombo, Tanny Singh, and Caden Woods. Thank you to everyone that played a role in making this event happen this year. Thank you to all the volunteers that lended a helping hand during practices and the competition day. And a huge shout out to all the athletes' families for your support during our season. Great job, Crusaders.
Congratulations to our elementary school participants. And next, I will call up to the podium from the middle school, Miss Christine Miranda.
Good evening, everybody. Before I introduce our Olympians, I would like to thank the Board of Education, Superintendent Rodriguez, Karen Jordan, especially Mr. Massano, our principal, for your unwavering support of our students and our Special Olympics program. I must also thank tremendously the team of adults that I work with at the middle school that supported the kids at every single practice. They took measurements, recorded times, helped me stay organized, which was not always easy. This has been a big undertaking, and I could not have managed it without all of you. And I want to say thank you so very much. And if you could please stand and be recognized. Stand up. Thank you. Thank you. At the beginning of the season, we were not sure if we would be competing, where we would be competing, or who would be allowed to compete. There were so many changes and requirements this year. There was even a last-minute change of the date. And this all, unfortunately, was due to many COVID restrictions at the time. But regardless of all the questions and uncertainties, one thing did not change, and it stayed steady and consistent and impressive and wonderful, and that was our athletes. They showed up every week for 14 weeks of practice. They worked hard sharpening their skills, cheering each other on, laughing, and most importantly, having a great time. Finally, all of our questions were answered, and on Sunday, May 1st, we traveled to West Point as a team, and we brought home 14 gold medals, 16 silver medals, 5 bronze medals, 7 ribbons, and along with that, we brought home smiles and an enormous feeling of pride. That feeling, yes. That feeling of pride and happiness is why I am truly grateful to be a part of this team. So let's get to the best part and introduce our amazing athletes that are so deserving of all of these accolades. Athletes, when I call your name, please come up to the stage. Our 8th grader, who hopefully will be an Olympian in the high school, Tyler Adams. This Olympian could not be here tonight, but I would like to recognize her, Angelina Christie. Another 8th grader going to the high school, Jaden Crawley. Danny DiTillo could not be here tonight. Sophie Hester and Yvonne Massillin could not be here tonight. Sorry. Christiana DePaulis. Liam McMullen. Leonel Montez Lopez. Another 8th grader leaving us, Disha Patel. Ivan Ramirez Torres. Caleb Roman. I have to say, Caleb is new to our team this year, and he did an outstanding job. Jaden Williams Martinez. Another 8th grader leaving us, Olivia Zepeda. And last but definitely not least, Isabella Zimbiri. Congratulations.
Thank you so much, and congratulations to our athletes. Great job. Our next presenter for the high school athletes is Miss Faith Hipsman.
Good evening. First and foremost, I would like to thank the parents for their continued support throughout the year. I would also like to thank all the adults that helped me make this such a success, for I could not do it without them. Colleen Grimes, Erica Larissy, Sharon Lipsky, Antoinette Santos Felice, Jen Figuera, Francesca Marcano, and Lorraine Marciano. Please stand to be recognized because you're such a big help. Also, I have to thank the High School Cozy Cafe for purchasing our lunch for the team and all the adults. All the high school athletes competed in a variety of track and field events, such as the 50 and 100-meter run, the running long jump, the turbo jab, the shot put, softball throw, and each athlete was successful in receiving a total of 11 gold medals, 10 silver medals, 6 bronze medals, and 12 ribbons. Throughout our practice season and competition, each athlete cheered and encouraged each other, and I'm so proud of our team's effort, sportsmanship, and heart. So on that note, I will announce the names of our high school Olympians. Some of them couldn't be here tonight. They had prior commitments. First athlete, Christopher Adorno. Alexa Alvarado, she could not be here. Max Bexardi. Aaron Cohen also could not attend. Jordan Cooper could not attend.
Sorry.
Adams and Hansel Dominguez couldn't attend. The next athlete is leaving us, and he's our team's captain, Joseph Hetty. Matt Hopkin could not attend. Theodore Iliardi. Evan Pavignano.
I'm so excited. Congratulations.
Christian Medina Finson could not be here. Our next athlete, Anthony Torres. Logan Whitfield.
Come on, Lo. It's okay. Come on, Logan. Keep going, buddy. Keep going.
And I have these two could not attend, the Wolf twins, Dominic and Stephanie. And that's all my athletes.
Congratulations to all of our high school athletes. Our next presenter this evening is Miss Deborah Garling, and she'll be presenting for Odyssey of the Mind.
I wanted to switch it up, you know?
Good evening. Odyssey of the Mind is an international creative problem-solving program that engages our young creative crusaders in learning by allowing their knowledge and ideas to come to life in an exciting, productive environment. Participations and the kids doing it build self-confidence, develop skills that are STEAM-based, create friendships that last forever, and they come back year after year. They're kind of like a sports team, only it's not an athletic competition, it's more of a creative competition. And they compete at the regional level. If they win there, they move on to the state level, and from there they can go to world finals. We have 3 teams being commended tonight. I'm going to start with the high school team. Omers, as you come up, please remain on the stage to take a photo with your team. Please welcome the high school Omers, Sophie Baer, Dylan Escobar, Amara Leitner, I don't think Amara could be here tonight, but I'll make sure we get her award. Bisma Malik. Nicole Otavio. And Connor Williamson. Are they taking photos tonight or no? Are they taking photos? Oh, good. Well done to the high school team. There's no seniors, so they're coming back again next year. Their high school coach, Jessica Mortensen, could not be here tonight, but she did a great job with these Omers. The next team I'm going to call up is a middle school team. They're coached by the duo of Joanne McInerney and Dante Calabrese. This team won first at regionals and placed fourth in the states, which I should have said about that team too. First at regionals and fourth in states. Please welcome middle school Omers, Amelia Badosiek, and I apologize if I'm pronouncing that wrong, Arush Borogahain, Justin Lemons, another Pavignano tonight. It's Isabella Pavignano's turn. Brandon Pang and Jack Youngman. Here come the coaches. They're tired. It's a long season. We start in September and it can end in May, as it did for this team. All right, the last team I'm going to call up is another middle school team. So Coach Mack, Coach Cal, stay on up here. Because this team placed first in the region. They were in the top 2 of the state, and they moved on to the World Finals this past May, where they came in the top 3rd. They had a technical issue, but other than that, they rocked it. Please welcome Julia Abershid. Kyle Imhoff. Zayed Kadir. Dylan McCann. Lauren Muller. Howen No. And Tanisha Zaharo. Thank you so much to the board for all your support of our Creative Crusaders.
Get in the picture. No.
She can wallpaper her house with them by now.
Coaches were waiting.
Congratulations to all of our Odyssey of the Mind participants. Our next presentation is going to be for NYSMA, and that is presented by Mr. Chris Taborski.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Chris Taborski. I'm the District Music Coordinator. Thank you to the Board of Education and to the Cabinet for inviting me to tonight's very special meeting, and for helping me to recognize many of our outstanding students and teachers on their achievements at NYSMA festivals this year. Let's begin by recognizing our teachers whose ensembles performed at the New York State School Music Association Major Organization Festival. Major Organization, or Majors as we call it, is one of the most important and high-stakes events of the school year for our music department. Teachers prepare their ensemble to the highest level on 3 NYSMA-approved musical selections. 2 New York State certified adjudicators evaluate every aspect of the performance, from professionalism and poise to musical phrasing and intonation. This year in particular, these teachers faced the unique challenge of rebuilding their programs with rehearsal restrictions in place for all of last year and for almost 3/4 of this year. But despite this, our students and their ensembles did great. So if you are present, I know some teachers weren't able to make it, please make your way to the stage when your name is called to recognize your accomplishments at the NISMA Majors Festival. Mr. Brian Clark, Middle School Chamber Chorus. Mr. Ryan Walther, Middle School Wind Ensemble. I forgot to mention Brian Clark's chamber chorus received a gold with distinction, the highest rating. Christopher Taborski, gold with distinction, level 3. Frank Petroselli, who couldn't be here today, a symphonic band, high school, level 4 gold. Dr. David Crone took 2 ensembles from the high school, the treble choir and the high school voice ensemble, that received a level 6 gold. Mr. Jason Champlin, Symphonic Orchestra, high school, level 4 gold with distinction. Miss Laura Greco, who is subbing for Miss Lauren Byrne, who had a baby recently, the Chamber Orchestra High School Level 6 Gold. And finally, Mr. Richard Reagan, High School Wind Ensemble, once again, Level 6 Gold with distinction. Congratulations to all these teachers, their students, and their ensembles. And now on to some of our amazing individual students. The NISMA Solo Festival is perhaps the most important event for the individual musician. Students spend months preparing a solo, as well as mastering a series of scales, rudiments, arpeggios, and a sight reading excerpt. NISMA solos range in difficulty from level 1 or elementary through level 6, a professional level. I am thrilled to announce the Monroe-Woodbury students who performed on a level 6 professional and scored an A+ and higher, which is a 97 or higher. Please help me welcome to the stage Grace Andren for her voice performance. Nina Pisconti for her voice performance. Chase Cassidy, alto saxophone. Jordan Cooper, violin. Kathleen Coyle, flute. Samantha Curran, voice. James Dawson, voice. Kevin Duffy, voice. Leanne Fernandez, alto saxophone. Joseph Grullero, voice. Max Hershkowitz, violin. Jonah Jeremilo, voice. Michaela Kim, violin. Ariel Koifman, piano. Benjamin Landris, French horn. David Lanuti, voice. Kangan Lee, flute. following student played 2 different solos on 2 very different instruments, well, similar-ish instruments, but English horn and oboe, and scored a 97 or higher on both instruments, Amara Leitner. Next is Alex Liu for trombone. Dia Mangat, flute. Will Nickel, snare drum. And his brother James, who scored a level 6A+ on both snare drum and mallets, James Nickel. Elizabeth Q, violin. Matthew Q for piano. Gabriel Ramos, trombone. Alicia Scally for voice. Charlotte Scanlon for voice. Jack Sheehy for viola. Sophia Theokas for voice. Lindsay Winters for viola. And finally, Adam Yashton for piano. Congratulations to all of these wonderful students on their fantastic achievement. Monroe-Woodbury continues to shine at the NISMA Festival and elsewhere, and the success of the department begins truly with the foundational skills taught by our general music staff as early as kindergarten and continues right through high school. And finally, before I give up the microphone here, the Monroe-Woodbury community has been recognized by the NAM Foundation for its outstanding support of music education, receiving for the 11th year in a row a Best Community for Music Education recognition. Congratulations to the entire music department, the district, and the community.
I did, thank you.
Congratulations. Up next is Miss Dawn Russell, who will present the bus safety poster contest winners.
Good evening, everyone. This year, our school bus safety poster contest theme was one driver plus one bus equals a big impact on education. I'd like to say thank you to all of our very talented students who participated in this year's safety contest. I'll begin by calling up to the stage Anna Nolasco from North Main Elementary. Matilda Pia of Smith Clove Elementary. Lila Srevchek from North Main Elementary. Aiden Rosado from Smith Clove Elementary. Alexa Ortega Pinzon from Central Valley Elementary. Declan Shea from Pine Tree Elementary. We'll keep going. Damon Lambert from Pine Tree Elementary. I have to mention that Damon's poster not only placed first in his building, but it also placed first place by the Tri-County Association for Pupil Transportation Directors, and then went on to Saratoga, where it was judged at the state level, and he came, we had some second and third place winners, so congratulations, it's a big accomplishment. Anya Shahid from Pine Tree Elementary. And Jocelyn Feliz from the middle school. Now, Jocelyn's poster also won first place in the building, first place Tri-County Association, the local chapter, and she also placed at the state in Saratoga during the winter. So congratulations. Scarlett Gonzalez, Central Valley Elementary, and Scarlett's poster also was judged local, #1, won in her building, and she placed at Saratoga. Congratulations. And finally, Kennedy Novalina from Sapphire Elementary. And I have the posters with me this evening. I'm going to make sure I get them to everybody over here. And I'd like to say thank you again to everyone involved in making this year's school bus safety poster contest a huge success.
Dr. Hassler is ready to run up here. He doesn't need any introduction. Seal of Biliteracy, Dr. Hassler.
Thank you. So the New York State Seal of Biliteracy recognizes high school graduates who have attained a high level of proficiency in listening, speaking, reading, and writing in one or more languages in addition to the English language. The New York State Seal of Biliteracy acknowledges the importance of being bilingual in today's global society. It highlights the hard work and achievement of students and encourages students to pursue language while they're still in school. The recognition of attaining the Seal of Biliteracy becomes part of the high school transcript and diploma for these students, and it's a statement of their accomplishment for future employers and for college admission. This year, we have, as of this moment in time, 40 graduates achieving the Seal in one language and 2 graduates who have achieved the Seal in 2 languages. We also have 2 other students who we're awaiting their scores on, and one of the students that we're going to recognize is up for a second language as well. They demonstrated proficiency in the following languages: Spanish, French, and Italian, which obviously we offer in our high school, as well as in additional languages of Hindi and Arabic this year. Each of the students will receive 2 certificates, a Monroe-Woodbury certificate as well as a New York State certificate, and they'll also get a medallion that they will be able to wear. The medallions haven't arrived yet from the State Education Department, so they're just going to get the certificates. They will be here in time for graduation next week. And with that, I would like to recognize the following students. Brooke Aarons. Bjorkis Acosta Palmers. Myred Andren. Myraid Andrin. Is that better? Yes, okay. I apologize. Thomas Baldessari. Chloe Chambers. Juliana Chaffee. Cassidy Conklin. Dora Crespo. Taylor De Silva. Matthew DeVico. Jonathan Hernandez. Maya Holguin. Joan Crepin. Derek Lee. Alex Liu. Jean Marie Martinez. Emily Medina Finson. Adelaine Miller. Lauren Morgante. Naik. Deborah Oki. It's all good. Deborah Oki. Yes. Andrew Pelson. Stephanie Pang. Peter Phelan. Daniela Piazza. Joshua Piriano. Benjamin Quintana. Megan Reed. Faith Reaney. Emily Rita. Geraldine Romero Martinez. Ari Ross. Misael Soto. Antonio Speranza. Clariani Uribe. Good job, thank you. Rachel Wasef. Lewis Whitmore. Lindsay Wilkinson. Daniel Winters. Alex Zincone. So, Nicole Riyad just walked up, and the reason why she walked up here, she said that I skipped her name. I did it on purpose. Okay. And the reason why I skipped Nicole is because I'm honoring two students at the end. The two students who I mentioned got 2 seals of biliteracy in 2 languages. Thank you for coming up. Nicole got the seal of biliteracy in both French and Arabic. Congratulations.
Wow. Good for you.
And also, Varun Gambhir, is she here? Varun got it in French and Hindi. So congratulations to everyone.
There he is.
Oh, he's here. Here he is. I'm just gonna see, I have the National Merit Scholarships next. Yeah, he wasn't here. Alex and Cole. Alex, Lou, don't go far. Come back up here. So the next award that we're going to recognize is the National Merit Scholarship Award. Over 1.5 million juniors from about 21,000 different high schools took the PSAT in 2020, which serves as the initial screening for the 2022 National Merit Scholarship Program. The National Merit Scholarship Program honors individual students who show exceptional academic ability and potential for success in rigorous college studies. The nationwide pool of over 1.5 million students was then trimmed down into the semifinalist group in the fall, and that semifinalist group was trimmed down even further into the finalist group, which represents less than 1% of the U.S. high school seniors, or approximately 15,000 students. Monroe-Woodbury was once again fortunate to have a student score in the top 1% of all students that took the PSAT and become a National Merit Scholarship finalist. Congratulations to Alex Liu for achieving this accomplishment. Come on back up again.
No, that's not him, Eric. That's not him. Eric, that's not him.
It's Evan. I apologize. Oh, it's Evan Liu. Evan, where is Evan? Is he here? Evan Liu, there he is. Come on up. Evan. Evan Liu. Alex shouldn't go farther because he's going to be recognized next. Evan. Congratulations. Come on over, get your picture taken. Evan should also not go very far. He should stay very close too. Alex should still stay close. Yeah. And next up to recognize our valedictorian and salutatorian is Ms. Hawk, the principal at the high school.
Good evening. It gives me great pleasure to introduce the next two students and recognize them for their impressive accomplishments as members of our graduating class of 2022. By graduation, these two young men will have a list of achievements that most of us would never amass in our lifetime. I've spent some time getting to know these two young men over the last few weeks, and I can tell you this. Although what they achieved academically and extracurricularly is so impressive, their most prominent attributes are their character and their kindness. They are truly the best of the best, and we could not be any more proud of them. First, I'd like to recognize our salutatorian for the class of 2022. We should get you a chair up here. Evan Liu, come on up on stage. In addition to being ranked second in a very competitive class, Evan has earned the distinction of being a National Merit Finalist, an AP Scholar with distinction, and a USA Swimming Scholastic All-American. Stay up here while I talk about you. Evan is a member of the French National Honor Society and has a cumulative average of 100.696. He has received an MIT scholarship and plans to attend that prestigious Massachusetts Institute of Technology in the fall, where he will study computer science and continue his swimming career. Congratulations, Evan, on a stellar high school career. And now it is my pleasure to recognize the valedictorian of the class of 2022, Alex Liu. As our top-ranked senior, Alex had a cumulative average of 100.839. He served as the president of the Wind Ensemble, the communications officer of the National Honor Society, the secretary of the Math Honor Society, and is a member of both the Spanish and Music Honor Societies. He was the managing editor of the school newspaper, a member of the math team, the chess club, the jazz band, the pep band, and in his free time, Alex's service to his community was also impressive as he logged in over 300 hours of volunteer work at St. Anthony's Hospital and the Monroe Free Library. And with that, he earned a comprehensive diploma. Alex has been awarded many scholarships and awards, including the John Philip Sousa Award and Outstanding Achievement in Biology Scholarship. He plans to attend Binghamton University in the fall, where I'm sure he will achieve all his goals. Congratulations, Alex and Evan. Your intelligence and your work ethic have gotten you very far. We are very excited to follow your success in college. We know you will continue to do great things, and on behalf of Monroe-Woodbury High School, thank you for being such wonderful representatives of our school. You have made us very, very proud.
Congratulations. Next, we will recognize our Art Purchase Awards that the Board of Education had chosen. We had our 3 board trustees this year choose the students' artwork, and we were able to have them displayed here this evening. So those are the pieces of art that you see down in front of you. Our recipients this year were Vicki Wong for her piece of art that was Backyard View, Catherine Robertson for her piece of art that is labeled Guitar, and also Catherine Robertson for her piece of art, which is 16 People. And I'm just going to turn it over to the 3 board trustees if they would like to say anything about the pieces of art that they chose. It was Ms. Tauber, Ms. Donahue, and Mr. Evans. So I'm not sure if they'd like to say anything about the specific piece.
I'll talk about the art that was chosen by me was by Catherine Robertson. Catherine's piece, 16 People, spoke to me. Unfortunately, it was not for sale to the public, but after speaking with Catherine and telling her the intent behind the award and that it would be part of the history here at Education Center, she agreed to offer it for sale. So thank you, Catherine. We're looking forward to displaying your art at the Education Center.
Thank you. Suzanne?
Yeah, my piece, the piece I chose was Vicki Wong's Backyard View, and I found it to be very comforting and very, it just, as Ms. Tauber said, it spoke to me, and it made me feel very relaxed when I looked at it. So thank you, Vicki, for doing such a beautiful job.
Thank you. Jamel?
Mine is going to be maybe not as formal. There was a lot of great artwork, very hard to choose. It came down to 3 for me, and my 8-year-old daughter helped me choose. So I'll be very honest. The piece was grand, and it'll bring in my mind new life to that kind of very dry building. So that's why I chose it.
Thank you so much, and congratulations to our artists, and their artwork will be hung at the Ed Center. Our next presenter is Ms. Hawk, and she will recognize our athletic achievements for this past school year.
I'm honored to have an opportunity to share with the board this year's athletic department achievements. During the 2021 and 22 school year, our varsity athletic teams won 12 division championships, 7 county championships, 10 Section 9 titles, and we had state medalists in 10 different sports. Our athletes and coaches put in a lot of hard work, and winning records are very satisfying, but what our kids do in the classroom and in the community is what sets them apart from other schools. We're very proud that Monroe-Woodbury has once again been recognized as a Scholar Athlete School of Excellence, and we have kept our winning streak alive by once again taking home the OCIAA Community Service Challenge Award. We are very proud of those 2 awards. And now the best part. I'm very excited that we have here tonight our girls' varsity softball team.
Woo!
I may have a biased opinion, but I'm going to say it. This is the best team I have ever seen play the game of softball.
Woo!
These girls and coaches have worked tirelessly over the past few years with their sights set on nothing less than a state championship. And here they are. It's been one heck of a ride watching this team over the years. Oh, I'm getting a little choked up. Their dedication, their camaraderie, their sense of humor, and their unbelievable talent culminated this year in a perfect 26-0 season. They were ranked first in New York State the entire season, and they ended ranked, get this, 7th in the nation.
Woo!
Girls, you deserve every moment of celebration, and as a former Monroe-Woodbury softball player, I want to thank you for bringing home the championship and putting our school's program on the map. We are so very proud of you. Please stand. Congratulations. Girls, the board would like to personally congratulate you. If you could come up on stage, please.
Congratulations. Up next, we have a presentation of the school yearbooks, and up to present for the high school yearbook is Rachel Rosario, Laura Gary, and the High School Yearbook Club. Yeah, they're coming. They gotta carry those heavy books. Oh my goodness, that's right. Oh gosh, careful.
Please be careful.
Yeah,
Thank you. Thank you very much. What is this way?
thank you. I think I received mine already. Yeah. Thank you, guys. I don't need it, but I don't mind, but thank you. Thank you. One more.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Deborah Oki, and I am this year's Senior Editor-in-Chief of the Monroe-Woodbury High School Yearbook. This year's theme of the yearbook is We're Back, and it is the 60th volume. The theme is We're Back and Better Than Ever, and it is meant to celebrate the return to in-person learning after 2 years of living amidst the COVID-19 pandemic. The excitement and relief felt by both students and faculty alike caused even stronger bonds to be formed this school year. We were fortunate enough to capture these special moments in photographs and display them in the yearbook. And now a few words on my past 4 years in yearbook. My older sister Miriam dragged me into room 142 to just try it out my freshman year. And I remember Mrs. Gary screaming her head off at everyone, and it was fine, because she wasn't screaming at me yet. Mrs. Rosario was more of the good cop, but I really have cherished my time with them both. My actual responsibilities for yearbook have included being a minion for multiple upperclassmen and eventually leading our brand new underclass members with the help of Emily Perlmutter, who couldn't be here, who is also our fellow senior yearbooker. The literal blood, sweat, and tears put into each yearbook I've been a part of, especially this year's book, have definitely proven to be worth it. I need to thank everyone here on stage with me for their tremendous effort. In addition, a big thank you to the faculty, administration, and community members for always supporting our club. This book is simply a collection of your faces and memories. I hope everyone is able to look back and cherish these times as we all enter new phases of our life. If anyone in the building has also gotten to know Mrs. Gary, they know she's incredulously sweet and painfully sarcastic. With 14 books and 29 years under her sleeve, we all wish her peace and blessings in her retirement. And now a word from what will be our veteran yearbook advisor next year, Mrs. Rosario.
Okay, so I normally prep something formally, but the last time I did that, I cried, so I'm gonna wing it right now. I wanted to just say thank you again, like Deborah had said, to all the faculty, the admin, and the community for always supporting our club. Without you guys, we wouldn't be able to put it together. Not only is it our 60th volume, it's also the largest book that we've ever put out. It's 384 pages of what I think is probably my favorite book so far. And I just want to thank Deborah for all of her extended hours that she did deep into the night through rainstorms and all types of stuff like that. And then to also just give a big shout out again for like the 800th time to our only junior, Paige, and also our, recreational baker. She makes all the food to keep us from fighting one another. And in addition, something that's incredible is some of our ninth graders aren't here, we're missing a couple, but these incredible ninth grade students who had not like an inkling of yearbook experience and were brave enough to jump in and get this book done. Without you guys, I really mean it, Deborah, Paige, and Emily, and I, and Ms. Gary, we would never have been able to get it done. So you guys, I just need you to know how incredible you are, because normally freshmen are not designing spreads and doing what you guys do. So thank you so much for that. And then this is my last time standing here on stage with Laura Gary, who drugged me into the yearbook, kind of similar to how Deborah's sister brought her in. I was threatened, just mildly. But I really want to thank her for everything, and thank you guys, and I don't want to make her cry, so I'm just going to keep it at that. I love you.
Thank you very much. For the presentation of the middle school yearbook, we have Danielle Roman, Laura Kiernan, and the Middle School Yearbook Club.
Hello, everyone. It is such a pleasure to be here with all of you tonight. It has been another fun year with a great group of students. We had a lot of enthusiasm for the yearbook club this year. I think everyone is ready to get back to business. This year, we added 3 more cameras to our collection, and we had Olivia Miller, a high school photography student, give the yearbook club members a lesson on how to take photos. But the real heroes of this year were our secretary, Michaela Kim, and our treasurer, Josh Insdorf. As club advisors, we have been told to make sure our student members are learning how to run a business. I can wholeheartedly say that these 2 students would run a phenomenal business, probably better than me. Here to present the 2021-2022 Middle School Yearbook are Ravon Reynolds, our secretary, Michaela Kim, and our treasurer, Josh Insdorf.
Hello, my name is Michaela. I am an 8th grader in the yearbook club, and my position was secretary. My duties included taking attendance, logistics for the club, and making sure Mrs. Roman and Mrs. Kiernan knew about important dates such as tonight. The theme for the 2021 to 2022 yearbook is Building Memories. Our cover design idea was created by 7th grader Lily Crowley. You will notice that in the blueprint of the middle school, we have customized the hallways with 4 different house colors. The back of the book showcases a poem that was written by 6th grader Micah Falvella. Building memories takes 1 brick at a time. Building memories includes yours and mine. This past year has been a bit rough, but we can do it. We're tough. Building memories 1 brick at a time. There's no limit to how far we can climb.
Hello, my name is Josh. I'm an 8th grader in the yearbook club, and my position was treasurer. My duties included keeping track of the money we received from selling yearbooks, filling out profit and loss statements and activity ledgers, and doing sophisticated math. This year, yearbook has 136 pages with approximately 20 pictures per page. That's over 2,700 pictures in all. This year, we completely sold out of our yearbooks after 2 days, a first time for us. That means 580 yearbooks were enjoyed by 6th, 7th, and 8th graders. Thank you to everyone who helped us out this year with the yearbook. A special thanks to our administrators, teachers, staff, students, yearbook club members, and Miss Guerrera. We hope you all enjoy looking through a yearbook from another unforgettable year.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you again for the yearbooks. Before I get to the next official agenda item, I'm going to ask our new Board of Ed representative for next year to come up, Jenna Rowan-Delson. While she's coming up, I'll explain a little bit of the process again. I know that when we said goodbye to Omer, I kind of explained a little bit, but we have several students that are rising seniors that come in and submit applications. Congratulations, Jenna. So happy for you. They submit applications to all of the Board of Ed anonymously. We are able to read through all of those applications. And this year we were happy to say that for the first time, we actually put our kids on the hot seat and actually did interviews with them. And Ms. Rowan-Delson did an amazing job. As you can see, she was selected as our next Student Board of Ed representative, and we are thrilled to swear her in at our July 5th reorganization meeting, which will take place next month, but we wanted an opportunity to recognize her tonight. So congratulations, Jenna. Her real work will start on July 5th. She's already an amazing student and already works so hard already, so she'll just add more to her list. Next, I'd like the opportunity to recognize a retiring board member. So on behalf of the Board of Education, it has been a pleasure to have Dr. Koifman as a member of our board. Sergey has had an intricate role within our board as he has shared his medical expertise with us and the school district during this global pandemic. Sergey has given 100% of his time and contributed regularly, which included attending board meetings immediately after long days in the OR. He also gave us his lunch breaks during policy meetings, so he gave those up in order to stream in with us virtually so that he can contribute to our policy meetings. Sergey will be greatly missed. He has been an asset to our community and our students, and we wish him all the best. We are going to take a brief recess before we continue on with the rest of the meeting, and I will just let you know, for anybody who would like, there are some refreshments in the cafeteria, so we'll take a 5-minute recess. commentary. You guys good? Good evening. Reconvening back into our regular session. There was no board business that took place during our brief recess. Moving on to questions and comments from interested citizens. This evening, we have a few, so I will invite Ms. Janet Stelz up to the podium where she will be discussing concerns about children's safety and well-being.
She was first before me. I'm sorry. She was first.
Oh.
Sorry.
I'm sorry, I don't know who you're pointing to, though.
Oh, she's hiding behind the stage. This lady here was before me. Sorry.
I'm sorry, what's your name, ma'am?
Lori Smith.
Okay, Lori Smith on community engagement.
Yes, good evening. This evening, we are serving each of you with a letter of intent to file a claim against your school insurance liability policy that is held by a risk management company in lieu of your individual liability bonds that are required by state law for every public official elected or appointed to government or public office. According to your policy, it is the duty of the policy holder in the event a person files a letter of intent against you for wrongful act, claims, or suits. Number one, you will be deemed to be aware of and have knowledge of the date that your legal department, risk management department, claim administrator, or any of your elected officials of an occurrence or wrongful act appointed or employed officials receives notice of such occurrence of wrongful acts. Number two, results in the establishment of a reserve or would reasonably require the establishment of a reserve for ultimate net loss under coverage Part A or loss under coverage Part B, which equals or exceeds 33% of the relevant retained limit that involves any of the following class actions or punitive class actions. Each of you are personally liable for a predetermined amount stated in your policy for damages per claim. In your policy, each occurrence is one claim filed against your policy. Each occurrence carries a predetermined deductible that you must pay prior to the insurance covering the rest of the damages. That means you could lose your house, your cars, your job, your retirement, etc., if you do not pay attention. You are in violation of multiple state, federal laws and international laws, and based on this most recent case in Illinois, you could be facing time in federal prison for your actions if you do not cease and desist. A downstate Illinois judge issued a ruling declaring Governor J.B. Pritzker's emergency rules for COVID-19 mitigations in schools null and void, effectively stopping the state's mask mandate in school buildings. Sangamon County Circuit Court Judge Raylene Grisho issued the order Friday afternoon in a lawsuit brought by hundreds of parents in more than 145 school districts who claim the mask order denies students process. Statutory rights have attempted to be bypassed through the issuance of executive orders and emergency rules, she stated in the 29-page order. This type of evil is exactly what the law was intended to constrain. We don't want to see any of this happen to you. All we want is what is best for our children. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
We're serving you.
Ms. Stelz will be speaking on concerns about children's safety and well-being.
So I'm just here to play a testimony because they say it better than I do, but it's important that this person is heard. This is a testimony of a transgender. This is a woman who had surgery to become a man. This has to do with a lot of the ideology that is being taught in our health classes under the so-called sexual ed or sex ed policies that are going on in the school. But you need to hear what this is all promoting and what this is adding to, so you understand the damages that it can do to people.
Or whatever said that I was in the wrong body, I started to think, well, maybe I am. I'm a biological woman that medically transitioned to appear like a male through synthetic hormones and surgery. I will never be a man. Is it transphobic for me to tell the truth? Why is it that in a couple hundred years from now, if you dug up my body, they're gonna go, yeah, that was a woman, had babies.
Can you tell me about the procedures that you had?
I've had 7 surgeries. I've had one stress heart attack. I've had a helicopter life ride with a pulmonary embolism. I've had 17 rounds of antibiotics. I had 6 inches of hair on the inside of my urethra for 17 months. Nobody would help me, including the doctor that did this to me because I lost my insurance. I get infections every 3 to 4 months. I'm probably not going to live very long.
Was there any real discussion of the risks and the side effects? And
No, there's not. And I know that people want to think that there is, but there's not. The truth is that medical transition is experimental. We have studies that said that medical transition helps mental health with kids. They've all been retracted, modified, changed. But the only long-term study tells us 7 to 10 years is when transgender people are the most suicidal.
After?
After surgery. But that's transphobic to say. For the first time in history, a marginalized group has a huge dollar sign on the top of their head. We have 5 children's hospitals in the United States promoting that.
What?
That's a phalloplasty. That's a bottom surgery. We have 5 children's hospitals in the United States telling girls that they can be boys at $70,000 a pop in a surgery that has a 67% complication rate. That will kill me from infection that I can't sue on. We're butchering a generation of children because nobody's willing to talk about anything. I have 3 kids. At the age that they're doing this to kids, I'm not transphobic. I love my kids, and I love other people's kids, and you should too.
So, bottom line is, you're pushing an ideology in the so-called health class, telling kids that they can identify as an opposite gender that they were born at. Frogs even, I've seen it, I've seen all the papers. There's a lot of kids out there, they deserve love and compassion, but the stuff that you're promoting does a lot more damage to people. Go to sexchangeregret.org. sexchangeregret.org and listen to the testimonies of the children, the teens, and the adults who have been basically indoctrinated into this, and it destroyed their lives. Listen to them. This is not me talking. This is her talking. This is a woman whose life was destroyed by this. Do more research, peer-reviewed research, not junk science.
Thank you. Our next speaker is Casey Capon, and she will be speaking on safety and security on behalf of the MWTA.
Good evening to the Board of Education, Central Administration, and the MW community. I'm speaking tonight as the MWTA Executive Vice President. In light of recent tragedy in Texas, safety and security have consumed many of our thoughts. Teachers and school personnel now have to think in ways we never have before. Will I be able to keep my students safe in this room if there were an emergency? Will I be able to access a phone and call 911? How fast can I lock this door? Can I create a barricade since this room doesn't even have a door? These are just some of the thoughts that go through our heads, all while educating and nurturing our students. Over the past 2 weeks, our President Darryl McElroy and I made the time to visit Sapphire, Smith Clove, Pine Tree, North Main, Central Valley, our middle school and high school. We felt it was important to sit down with faculty and staff and discuss the concerns that they have about safety and security. After all, who better to ask than the teacher that knows you have to jiggle that door just right to get it to latch shut, or the one who always reminds substitutes to make sure you have the custodian put the door in a lock mode because you don't have a key to the room, or the teachers that fear one day it might not just be a drill, and they have to get their class down a hallway to a room that has a safe space. These are just a few of the examples of concerns that were brought to our attention. Our faculty and staff are asking for help. I am not here to rattle off a list of items to be addressed. I'm here to say that we, the MWTA and EA, are eager to be a part of the solution. We're very much looking forward to our meeting tomorrow with Mr. Tripotto and Central Administration to discuss general safety protocol here in MW and to share the specific needs of each building. We would welcome an opportunity to walk the halls and grounds of each building with administration and with Mr. Tripotto and to discuss how we can put the infrastructure in place so that if, God forbid, a tragedy were to happen, our MW students and staff would be safe. While these visits weighed heavy on my heart, I will end by saying I have never been more proud of my colleagues across the district. It was evident in every meeting there was a passion that we have for our teaching and the love that we have for our students. We just want to teach our students in the safest environment possible, and we need the help of all of you up on that stage. I hope that at our next meeting, I'll be here to share with you and all of our community just how we are working together to keep all of our Crusaders safe. Thank you.
Thank you. Our next speaker is Daryl McElroy, who will be speaking for well wishes for the retirees on behalf of the Monroe-Woodbury Teachers Association.
Good evening, members of the board, cabinet, and Monroe-Woodbury community. On behalf of the Monroe-Woodbury Teachers Association, I wanted to first thank Dr. Koifman for his service to the community and the school district. His presence on the board and his medical expertise was a source of comfort during a very difficult time. You will be missed. I also wanted to congratulate all the retirees of the MWTA and EA. Take us with you. We certainly wish them all well in whatever endeavors they pursue after they finish a career dedicated to educating our future. Congratulations also to the students and families who were recognized earlier this evening. They are truly a testament to the success of public education. Lastly, I'd like to extend a congratulations to the class of 2022. You're almost there, and your success is a testament to the resilience and perseverance that you have shown in the face of adversity. I was honored to present 13 $1,000 scholarships on behalf of the MWTA and EA to graduating seniors at the academic awards ceremony a few weeks ago, and I'm also pleased to announce that the MWTA EA will be making a donation of $1,000 to the all-night graduation party. We hope that the seniors enjoy the next few weeks with family and friends before they go off to college, career, or the military, or maybe they're just going to take a little break. We look forward to seeing what they all accomplish. As the 2021-22 school year draws to a close, I think it's a good time for us to reflect on the past year. It was rewarding to be back in the classroom, but the school year was hard in ways we could not imagine, and in hindsight, probably underestimated. If we are going to successfully meet the challenges of the upcoming school year, then we need to partner together to make significant investments in hiring more full-time teachers, teaching assistants, teacher aides, school counselors, social workers, school psychologists, clerical staff, nurses, monitors, and school safety officers. We need students in classes, not in study halls. I probably sound like a broken record, but we simply cannot be expected to do more with less or continue to expect people to make up for staffing gaps that are going to deny students the opportunity to have their SEL and academic needs met. And being that I'm in the trenches at the high school, I can tell you that now would be the wrong time to have fewer hall monitors. This year was also more difficult because of the extremely toxic political environment that we as public educators are subjected to on an almost daily basis. Sadly, our community has not been spared this toxic environment, which has resulted in public smear campaigns against my members at this microphone and in social media. But too often nowadays, folks are quick to jump on social media or come to the microphone here and attack teachers without having all of the information or even correct information. Even if someone is well-intentioned in their concern, that can do a lot of damage. In today's climate, especially given the recent school shooting, we do not need more fuel added to the fire. We should be working together to lower the temperature. One of the best things we could do is start talking with each other and listening to each other. We encourage the parents of students in our classrooms to have conversations with us about lessons, activities, readings, and what's going on. I find that many issues are often resolved when we have verbal communication with each other, when both parties try to actively listen, and when we try to relate to each other on a human level. Parents and teachers should have an honest and open dialogue in support of a common goal, which is educating our students. We went into teaching because we love working with young people. But teaching is more than just teaching students how to read and how to learn math. We also want them to be critical thinkers, to appreciate each other's differences, to have empathy, and to cultivate something in them that brings them joy, and to love themselves for who they are. There is no other agenda. In the last few weeks, we have seen teachers give their lives for their students, and we would do the same. The situation we face is tough enough as it is, and we do not need it to be more difficult by targeting us with baseless attacks. So in closing, I am calling on all of us to consider what each of us is doing to help foster a positive environment for our school community. What example are we setting for our children and our students? I am certainly not perfect, and I recognize that I can do better too. We should be working together and not in opposition to each other, and that is true whether we are teachers and administrators, or teachers in the school board, or teachers and parents. Let's renew our common purpose and bond as we head into the next school year. Our kids are counting on us, and they deserve to have the best versions of all of us. Thank you.
Thank you. Up next, we have a presentation for our capital project plan. I'm going to pass it over to Mr. Cahill, who will introduce our architects.
Ask David Sammel and Chris Ladaney of CPL Architects and Engineers to come up to the stage. We've been talking about the need for capital projects really for the entire year now. The goal number 3 that we've been discussing, we're actually going to discuss further tonight, actually addresses this pre-referendum work associated with capital planning. The district really hasn't had any major capital work done, I would say, in 12 to 15 years. And our buildings, like your home, requires maintenance, requires replacement of building systems. Our roofs, our boilers, our heating systems are aging and, in most cases, past their useful life. What this has resulted in is a lot of repair expenses. There are times with our facilities director, Andre Rudiak, and I, where in the winter we're concerned about the boilers. The boilers are not functioning properly. They're functioning, requiring a lot of repairs. Sometimes the boiler is not functioning entirely. We have to switch it over to another boiler. All these things are indicative of these systems which are past their useful life. And not only are we spending a lot of money on the repairs, and in our case, when we repair a boiler, it's not like your home boiler. It's very expensive. It's tens of thousands of dollars. And they're essentially not as reliable as they should be. It's really an unacceptable situation when we have to be concerned about the heating system in our schools. We have to worry about our roofs leaking, et cetera. So it's time for us to invest and do some capital projects, do some capital investment in our facilities, because that's really what it is. We need to maintain our existing buildings. It's an investment in our facilities. So that's one of the reasons, the why. Why are we talking about this? Why are we doing this now? The other reason is we're in sort of a good position, a unique situation, really, where we're retiring some of our existing debt. So the district issues bonds to borrow money, and we're in a position where in the next 4 to 6 years, we're prepared to retire almost all of our existing debt. So it's a really unique opportunity where what we can do is issue new bonds and coordinate that and time that as we're retiring our old debt. And capital work takes a long time with school districts. It's a long lead time. We have to go through a process where we have to get voter authorization, and that's what the stage we're in with this pre-referendum work. We're contemplating a December 6th referendum date where we'd ask the voters of the district to authorize this work. We then have to go through a design phase and have New York State Education Department approve that, bidding through general municipal law. So it's a very long timeline to do work for us. And we also are constrained by working primarily in the summer. So we need to begin this process now to be able to sort of coordinate and align the retirement of our debt with the issuance of new debt. So that's just sort of a little introduction. We've been talking about this a lot. We're actually going to talk about it a little bit more later. But I'm going to turn it over to our architects with CPL, David Sammel and Chris Ladaney, who will continue the discussion and provide, I think, a lot more granular details on the whole capital planning process and construction process.
Well, thank you. Welcome. We're very welcome to be here. Some of you we have met, some of you we have not, so I'm just going to do a little introduction. So as Patrick said, our firm is CPL. We're a full-service architecture and engineering firm. We have about 450 team members spread from Buffalo to Atlanta in 19 offices. We do have a very strong local presence. We have an office in Newburgh and in Westchester, and those would be the offices that are serving all of your projects. I myself am in Westchester. I'm a principal with CPL, and Chris is going to be the project manager on these projects, and he works in the Newburgh office. So we're local to Monroe.
Just if I may,
Yeah,
Dave,
sure.
I'm born and raised in Orange County. I know the community. I'm not going anywhere. Graduate of Pine Bush. I now live in Valley Central. I remember playing you guys in Section 9 basketball, losing a lot because I was on the team, but we got beat up pretty good. But I'm happy to be back and very excited to be part of the team here.
So most of the items on this slide, we've already talked about, Patrick already talked about district goal. So we want to do a cost-effective program that's going to address the major issues that the district is facing. Back in April, we talked about the guiding principles. I think they were distributed to the entire board, so we won't go through them all. The guiding principles are going to be what we look to evaluate, or our subjective analysis will be based on. So if we're looking at choosing one item over another, we're going to go back and reflect against the guiding principles and see which one best fits those principles. Patrick did discuss why now about the debt and looking to have this as tax neutral as possible. So as we talk about the magnitude of the project, both in scope and in cost, we'll also be looking at the opportunities to pay for that with the retiring debt and some other opportunities that might come along for funding. So I want to talk first about the process, and we're just getting into this process. So this is our first time before the full board. The Facilities Committee has talked with us a couple of times. Back in 2021, the district had a building condition survey done, and a master plan was started. Building condition survey is something that the state requires every school district in New York to do once every 5 years. And the purpose of it for the state is so that they can do some cash flow planning for building aid that's coming back to the districts. And for the districts, it's a tool to really look hard at your facilities to see what's the condition of your buildings and what kind of order of magnitude cost you'd have to replace the systems that are aging out or anything that's failing ahead of schedule. So again, you've done the building condition survey, and we've worked with you to create a master plan. And it's a pretty exhaustive list and a pretty expensive list. So the next step is to meet with the user groups, and Patrick and Andre have met with the principals and the building staff. We did some building tours to understand better what the priorities are. Chris will talk a little bit about the scope in a minute. And then the next phase of the process is what we're doing now. We're looking at the program. How big is it? How much work is there? How can we capitalize on order of magnitude, economy of scale? What are the most important things? What is the community looking for? What are some of the building needs? You know, we're going to talk about boilers and roofs and things like that, where you don't want to ever have a catastrophic failure with a system like that. So you want to plan for when you want to replace it based upon its useful life, maybe the warranty period and things like that, because if you ever had a failure during the school year for a system like that, it has a tremendous impact not only on the students, but also on your budget. So we're going to look towards that. As we move through the process, we're going to do some preliminary designs. We're still very, very, very schematic, and that's enough to get a cost estimate put together, so we know the order of magnitude for the cost to go with the scope. And at that point, the board's going to really get involved with weighing how much is the total cost, what's the total tax impact, are we really resolving enough of the global issues that we have, is this something that we want to do in one bond, in multiple bonds over time, or things like that. So right now we're talking about one bond, which Patrick said our target date for the vote is December the 6th, 2022. And you can see from the slide, the rest of the process is once you decide on what the scope is and the costs, we'll start to do some community involvement, make sure that the information is communicated clearly and concisely to the community so that we can generate support so that the referendum is successful. The last steps that you see on this slide, they really happen towards the end of the process. Even the last, of course, happens after the referendum. So it's a continuum. We're in good shape now, knowing what the scope is to be ready for the vote in December. We have a lot of work to do, and we'll have a few opportunities to meet with the board and the facilities committee as we move forward. But we wanted to come now before the summer to give you this introduction so that when we come back in the fall, when the students are back and the teachers are back, we'll be able to really dive deep into what we have to do to be successful in December.
All right, thank you, Dave. Thank you, Patrick, for setting the stage here. So I'm going to go through some of the scope of work that the team is recommending. Like Dave said, that building condition survey and master plan is a pretty exhaustive list. So this is somewhat of a summary bullet point list of different pieces of the puzzle here to really maintain, upgrade, and improve all your buildings. And each there's some consistent line items that go across each one of the buildings, but then each building has some unique aspects of it as well. So really building renovations, security improvements, fire code upgrades, ADA code upgrades, so that's the Americans with Disabilities Act, roofing replacement and restoration. There's a lot of roofing work that needs to get done throughout the district. This is a large district, large buildings. One of the key things to keep in mind is to keep the envelope of the building tight and watertight, that is, so that any investment or improvement that you do inside the building, obviously lasts longer. Information technology upgrades, HVAC improvements. HVAC is a huge thing, especially with the past 2 years of dealing with COVID and fresh air and air exchange. School districts are mandated by the state to have and code to have certain air exchanges, but we could always do better than that. Infrastructure upgrades, modifications, playground equipment and outdoor learning space. I feel like as a team, having outdoor learning spaces and places where kids can play and learn outdoors. Again, not to always bring it back to COVID, but this was definitely a thing that showed where there was a desire and need to be outdoors when it was nice weather. Even in the Northeast, we talk as a crew that even if it's a little cold out, there's still opportunity to get outdoors. Even my son who goes to school, if it's above freezing, they're outside for recess. So site work improvements and paving, stormwater management improvements. Stormwater management is so crucially and hugely important. Kind of goes back to what we were talking about with keeping the building weather tight. Building envelope and facade restoration. Again, that building envelope is a common theme here. And cafeteria and kitchen upgrades. So I'm just going to jump into an overview of the schedule. I know Dave touched upon it a little bit there. Here we are at the June 15th board meeting, having there save the date for December 6th. We just, as a group, wanted to get everybody in the mindset that this process is coming. I know the summer is a little bit of a, school's not in session, obviously, and while school's in session today, we wanted to just get people prepped and ready for more meetings and more presentations and more discussions about this overall capital improvement project. The more feedback we get and work collaboratively, the better this project is going to turn out. So we got a lot of work to do this summer. Like Dave said, we have that master plan at BCS, and we've done building tours to understand priorities, construction types, things of that nature. So through the summer, we're going to be developing the project scope and cost. I know there's we're going to look to bring a CM, a construction manager, on board. They're crucially important to get on early. They really got the finger on the pulse for construction costs these days, which is a moving target, to say the least. It's a little bit of a volatile climate out there as far as prices as they fluctuate. So we're really going to dig in and develop that project scope and those cost estimates. Early fall, again, we're going to be looking for, doing more presentations, get a lot of public discussion, have community forums. Again, the crux of this and the kind of the theme is that we don't want to be designing and putting the scope together in a vacuum. We could look at a set of windows or a roof and say, yeah, that's going to need replaced, now or 5 years from now. But ultimately, there's a lot of things that you guys deal with on a day-to-day basis that we don't know about, that we need to know about to make sure that we're solving the pain points and the problems that happen, on a day-to-day basis. One thing that I have to say is that we haven't been around that long here, but everyone that we've dealt with has been a pleasure to deal with, from Patrick to Andre and everyone in between. Very accommodating and very professional in this process so far, so thank you for that. And then in the fall, really would be kind of a campaign, almost a political campaign here of marketing and information. This would be us doing everything from board presentations to helping out with social media posts, and we would be working closely with your marketing team as well. I know that you have a good marketing team on staff, but we also want to make sure that you guys know that our marketing team and our graphics team, to help with some of these visuals and to help to get the message out, is your staff as well. One of the things that Dave mentioned early on about our company is that we're a one-stop shop, and we have a lot of good resources in-house, and they're only a phone call away or down the hallway in our office there. So, and that leads us to the December 6, 2022 vote. And then really that's, the pre-referendum process is quite the process, but then really after that, then it's the beginning of a marathon of a construction project, like Patrick said. So I wanted to touch upon a couple things regarding cost. We would collaborate with the construction manager that would hopefully be on soon to establish accurate construction costs, estimates that is. We work closely with the district's financial advisor to establish feasibility of project and cost implications. Our goal here is to minimize tax impact by utilizing reserves and coordinating with retiring debt service, as Patrick mentioned. The next statement here is kind of reinforces the statement prior of timing of the borrowing is crucial. We want to minimize fluctuations, and we want to make sure that it's a stable transition from one debt to the next. And then really establish final project cost that makes the most sense for everyone. We're not looking to force anything down anybody's throats. We want, again, it's the team mentality here, and make sure that everyone is on board with the project. It's the only way it works. So, again, thank you. It's a pleasure to be here. Thank you for allocating on us in the agenda tonight and taking time. There's a lot of great things going on in the district, as we can see from the awards and everything, and we're here to help you guys support that and to make some capital improvement. So we open it up to any questions, comments, so thank you.
Thank you very much. Does anybody have any comments, questions?
Regarding CPL, it looks like there's a long list of possible improvements, right, that are being proposed. Looks like they run the gamut from everything. Yeah. Is it just my lack of knowledge? Does your company also guarantee the work done and the warranties, or is that done separately?
Yeah, so it's a good question. Really, when we get to the point where actually constructing the work, there's two types of warranties that you guys would have assurance on would be basically the craftsmanship warranty of, let's say, a general contractor would renovate a space. For a year, it would be warranted by them. If it's roofing, it's 2 years, but then any given product that would be put into the building, let's say a boiler, would have a manufacturer's warranty as well. Or let's say a roof. A roof would be a good example, right? So you have that craftsmanship warranty for about 2 years by the specific contractor that put it in, but then you would have maybe 20, 30, or even 40-year warranty of that roof through the manufacturer, through that product that was used on that specific roof.
Okay, so if there's a problem, do we reach out to you or the manufacturer? I guess that's
You could reach out to us.
Okay. All
Yeah,
right,
that's one of the benefits of working with us is that, it's one phone call away, only one neck to strangle when things go awry, so, yeah.
And what we'll do is at the end of, as we're approaching that 1-year contractor workmanship warranty, we'll do a tour of the entire project. And we'll see if there are things that look like they're not holding up. We're not going to wait till, if you call 13 months, then you're out of luck. So we'll do a tour of the entire project at 10 or 11 months. You'll start to see those trends if there's a problem, and we'll make sure we get those corrected.
Great, thank you.
Jamel, it's also good to know that on the board is probably the individual who insures the engineering firms. So we have a bit of expertise on liabilities and insurance for engineering firms.
Good to know.
Yeah. It's one more thing of being on the winning team in Monroe. That,
Yeah.
As opposed to maybe where you were from.
No, it's always great to have some expertise on the board. I mean, I know the Dr. Sergey was helpful during the pandemic, and so it's always good to have some insider knowledge on building, engineering, architecture, all that. It's definitely a big subject matter that has a lot of nuance to it, but.
Thank you. Any other questions?
I think Patrick's been keeping us informed, so that's why I think you're not seeing a lot of comments and questions right now. He's been really great about telling us the trade-offs that are going to need to be done, so thank you.
Yep. You're very welcome, and thanks to Patrick for having us tonight, and again, he's a pleasure to work with, so.
Thank you very much for being here.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Take care.
Up next, we have our presentation on an update for the district goals for the 2021-2022 school year, and I'm just not sure who's starting.
I'll start, but I
Okay.
think that I need to see the slide. I'm not, I think Eric is the first person to present.
Okay.
Oh, no, don't give me this. I'm terrible with this. I have, give it to Eric.
Oh, perfect.
Probably good for him.
All right.
Did
Is there a laser on this thing too?
Yesterday when we tried to do it,
Yeah.
it didn't work.
wasn't
I'm not
you.
taking it. It's his turn. It's okay. I think the temperature was turned down.
Feels good, Elsie.
Trying to freeze us out of here.
It feels comfortable. I'm very grateful. Whoever did it. Thank you.
Mel needs a jacket.
Need a coat.
You want me to jump ahead? I'll do committee reports while she's doing that.
Here it goes. It's coming.
It's cold.
It probably is cold. Here we go. The blue light is on.
You gotta kick it.
There you go. That an IT solution?
Yeah, control all, kick it.
Usually I hit the top of the computer.
Yeah,
and it works.
You gotta stand on one foot.
That blue light is killing telling me.
Plug my Mac in?
It's part of the upgrades.
Yeah, I think it is part of the upgrades. Eric, do you have the slides in front of you?
I do.
You want to
I mean, just to
start
start
talking?
to talk?
Yes. You do very well.
Okay.
So-
I'm afraid that people are going to be distracted by the screen and not listen to me.
Everyone listens.
all here,
When Eric
Hanging
has
on your
those
every
slides,
word.
Won't change
everyone has
anything,
no
Eric.
choice but to hear.
So,
I do have a question, Eric, before you
oh
start.
boy.
I don't see the slides posted, and I thought we had talked about that, so the public
don't know.
could look at them.
The slides get posted after we do the presentation
Okay.
and not only that, but we update our goals. So after we present, we post.
But for something like this, if they were posted, the public could follow along while we're doing it, so just a suggestion.
Yes, Eric?
Eric. Okay, so goal number one that was established at the beginning of the school year is using data and organizational processes to identify opportunities to improve student outcomes. So as we presented a few times when we provided updates, we talked about the sort of tiered structure that we've established regarding our data work. We began in January with a district-wide data team. That data team met collectively as a group. It consisted of instructional staff, administrators, a variety of different people, K-12, and we talked about sort of the impetus behind this work and the rationale behind what we were going to do and how we were going to move forward. It became very quickly evident at that January meeting that we needed to divide up into two separate groups, one at the elementary level, one at the secondary level. So we developed an elementary data team as well as a secondary data team. And then we've had subsequent meetings in those smaller groups. The elementary data team is actually even broken up even further into a reading, writing ELA group as well as a mathematics group. The reading, writing group has also met a number of different times. The focus of their work has been very similar to the focus of each of the various data teams, is to examine in-district assessments that we can use in addition to the standardized assessments that we administer in the form of the STAR exam and the state assessments, and Dr. Vies will talk a little bit more about that in a moment, and to look at various assessments that can be used in reading, in math, and in mathematics, in reading, in writing, and in mathematics across the school district that are more consistent and that are aligned to the next-gen standards which we're evolving into. At the secondary level, we also have similar conversations. The difference is that data team exists basically at the building council level between the middle school and the high school. I've met with the building council at the middle school. I've met with the building council at the high school. Again, continuing with those conversations about developing consistent assessments that are being administered to students vertically across various content areas and departments. In terms of next steps and moving forward, our plan is to continue those conversations. Again, Dr. Vies will speak more in a moment about what assessments have been already loaded into the Unified Insights.
There we go. And we put it on board docs as well.
Noreen, don't worry about TV. Just keep it on the main projector. Yeah, no, just keep it on main projector. Yes. Good.
I myself am distracted. So okay. All right, there you go.
Just leave it.
So in terms of next steps, this is the work that's going to continue on into next year, and I believe Mrs. Rodriguez is going to speak a little bit more about next year at the end of the presentation, where that work about the in-district assessments that are linked to state standards is going to continue into the 22-23 school year at each of the various levels that I spoke about earlier. All right.
So as Dr. Haslund mentioned, we continue to build a central repository system. We keep adding various data points to our central repository systems. We have last 5 years of STARS and New York State assessment data. STAR is our local benchmark. that we administer 3 times a year, and New York State assessment minus the COVID year. We also were able to bring the data for ACT and SAT exam scores. This includes even if the students take them multiple times, the ACT or SAT. So this helps us to add another data point in terms of keeping the holistic approach of what does the student progress looks like. We also are able to bring, since this system is connected, very specifically connected to Power School, we were able to bring all the demographics data, the attendance data, including the various attendance view, the chronic absences for our students, also comparing the schools in last 4 or 5 years. We also have been able to create the specific enrollment overview. This allows us to see the trends that happens in last 4 or 5 years with us, and also help us to be better projecting the enrollment trends for the next few years. A part of the goal 1 also is how to improvise the organizational process. This year we have focused on the NIST cybersecurity framework. Cybersecurity is continuously on the top of the agenda for us as the world is keep changing, and as we learn the various new type of the cyber attacks. This year we focus on one of the control, which is called the access control. And some of these systems that we collect the heavy data, heavy PII data. So for example, Power School Recruit and Hire, which is our recruitment tool used by our HR department, professional growth, that's where the observation and all the in-service course request gets logged in. IEP Direct, which is also heavily with the PII type of the data, and WinCap, which has our financial system. We have developed the specific processes to make sure that who is the owner of each system, what kind of the reports they run, and they provide the quarterly update to the technology department. We have developed the internal process that allows us to pick 5 different type of the users every quarter, and then each system administrator would check that what kind of the rights this user has. Is the user retired? Make sure that the user is disabled in various system. This is one of the main focus on when the New York State Controller's audit comes down. They generally focus on what kind of the user access that the school district provides to their user. Our next year goal is to bring 2 more systems into the review. One will be our Traversa, which will be our new transportation system. Our transportation department is doing a really good job of migrating our current system from what we call VersaTrans RP to the Traversa, which is a fully web-based system. And the second one would be our food service solution called Titan. So our goal next year is to bring more system to add into the access control, as well as continuously add various data points that Dr. Hassler mentioned, working with the district-wide data committee.
All right, thank you very much. Can you hear me? I can't hear myself. Can you hear me now? Oh, now you can hear me. So as we began the school year under the cloud of COVID, listening to parents and families and community members, as well as our staff and students, was necessary, and ended up resulting in a goal that was centered around family and community engagement. One of the primary methods used throughout the year to understand the needs of our staff and our students and our families was to gather thoughts through the use of a survey. We've talked about that throughout the entire year. Prior to that, we met as a board, as a cabinet last summer to craft our goals for the current school year. We presented those goals to our school administrators and create strategies for the current year. We worked with our communication specialist to start our survey campaign. We then sent our survey out to thousands of people. We had a total of 5,739 surveys that were completed. Of those, of the 5,739, 4,100 were from students in grades 4 through 12, which is a phenomenal rate Our staff in buildings, we had 315 staff throughout all of our buildings take the survey, 110 staff district-wide in addition to those staff in buildings. Our families with children in the school, we had a total of 982 families with children in the school take the survey. And then we had residents without children in school. There were a total of 228 residents who took the survey. Once everybody took it, we compiled the data with PLC associates. We reviewed the data as a cabinet. We spoke with our building administrators, and now I'm here to go review some of the basic results. And I shared the results with the board. So the areas, if we can go to the next one. So the areas of focus that will help determine the strategies for the upcoming school year. One of those was the impact of student behavior. And it was pretty consistent from the staff to the students. There were a large number of people who understand that student behavior impacts learning. We've heard concerns throughout the year, right? We heard it in the start of the year. We've heard it recently. But the survey results indicated that those staff and the students and the family understand that while the behaviors aren't just in Monroe-Woodbury, that there are behaviors, whether they're in class, whether they are in the hallways, whether they are in schools in general, that people are looking to continue that conversation about student behavior and how it can impact learning. The second area that we discussed in previous board meetings was the need for professional development for all stakeholders, our staff, our parents, our families, and Dr. Hassler touched upon it when he spoke, and the need to really drill down and have these conversations between grade levels, at grade levels, in different departments, and making an effort to do that even more so now that we are coming out of our COVID, I don't even know if this is wood actually. It's not wood, it's totally plastic. If it was wood, I'd be knocking it. But coming out of our COVID experience. Reviewing and developing and adjusting plans. This was a unique year. The last, when you sit here and think about it, when the pandemic hit us in March of 2020, this year marked the third school year where we were all impacted by COVID, which is wild when you think about it. It partly feels like yesterday and partly feels like years ago. But what that meant is the way we typically approached our education in terms of having our parents involved, our volunteers involved, a lot of that was on the fly as this year progressed. We weren't sure with protocols, and then we had masks, and then we didn't need masks, and then people could come in, and then people couldn't come in. And looking at, as we move forward, getting back to having our volunteers and our families being present at our school activities, it was awesome to sit in an auditorium tonight with a full crowd just to see so many people and so many kids. And the survey is indicative of the need to continue to do that. Discussing and creating school-based goals for academics and student support and family engagement. That work happens over the summer. That will happen with our administrative team in small groups or individually. It will be one of the areas of focus for our administrative retreat over the summer. So that work begins over the summer. And then I think one of the things that this was the third time we've administered this specific survey. It's lengthy, it's normed nationally, which is helpful in certain areas. But one of the things that we were going to invest time in is looking at whether or not we should use the same survey or we should use one that is a different one that would be created by us to really help measure the specific needs of Monroe-Woodbury. There isn't really an opportunity to say, okay, tell us what you think about this program that we utilize, or this event that we typically have. So drilling down to a more specific or MW-specific survey is something that we are going to be looking to do in the future. Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah, okay, so I'll give you an update here on goal number 3. And what this represents is the work that we've done since the last time we reported out at a board meeting, really. So David Samuel alluded to our guiding principles for evaluating and prioritizing capital projects. I'd like to just really quickly read what those are. Those principles we kind of were generated through the Facilities Committee. We sent something out to the board. So you've all seen those, but I'd like to just sort of quickly read it for the community at large. So it's maintain or improve health and safety of students and staff, maintain, expand educational opportunities for all students, avoid imminent failure. So these are the systems that we were talking about earlier tonight that are close or past the end of their useful life. Correct nonconformances to code. So with school districts, a lot of times you're grandfathered in until you do some capital work, and then New York State Education Department requires you to correct nonconformances. So that would be the ADA issues that Chris Ladany alluded to a little earlier. Maintain facilities-related comparability and parity between school buildings, reduce operating expenses, enhance energy efficiency, maintain or improve the district's debt profile during and after the capital project process. So that's another thing that we talked about, is trying to make this as much as possible budget neutral. And I talked about that using the retiring existing debt to issue new debt, and also, I didn't really talk about it too much, I will a little later, using our capital reserve. So we established a capital reserve, which is like a savings account for capital projects. We've been adding to that. We have about $9.4 million in that right now. And I anticipate by the time we actually need to start to spend money, we'll have been able to add more to that capital reserve. So those are the guiding principles for evaluating this. We're going to need to evaluate and prioritize, because you do the BCS and the list is like this. I mean, I'm not kidding. It's, like everything under the sun. And we need to obviously, shrink that down to get to what's really important, what we really prioritize. And, I like to say the things that we need to have, not necessarily all the things that would be nice to have. Meetings with district administrators, that's taken place to both share information and seek input on building needs. The principals, they live there at the building every day. They have a really good handle on their own buildings. Site and building visits with CPL, so we've done that. They've walked the buildings, they've looked at the buildings and gone into the boiler rooms and everything else with our staff. Met with bond counsel, so we have a special type of attorney when you issue debt, a bond counsel. So met with bond counsel to discuss the timeline and compliance requirements. There's certain specific things that are required at specific times in this process prior to the referendum. And the referendum is basically like an election. So there's resolutions that need to be passed by the board. There's advertisement requirements for advertisements, the same way we do with the budget. You have to advertise about 4 times within 7 weeks of the actual referendum date. Creighton issued RFP for construction management services. Again, CPL alluded to that. That's something we're literally in the middle of. We had a tour of the district yesterday for construction management firms. 2 or 3 firms came, two came in the morning and 1 came later in the afternoon. The proposal due date for their submission to us is the 24th, and we hope to appoint them on the reorg meeting on July 5th. So the next steps, these are next steps really for next year, and next year would start in July, obviously. Assemble the team. That's what a lot of this has been about. CPL is our new architect. We're going to have our fiscal advisor, which we already have on board, our bond counsel, and our construction manager. That would be like one of the first things I do in July. We'll do in early July is say, hey, let's get everybody at the table and make sure we're all on the same page. We're all aware of any obstacles or issues that we may not have thought of. Finalize the scope of work. We alluded to that with the CPL presentation. Develop project timelines, because this is going to take us years to do. It's going to take us 3 years at least to do this much work, partly because we're constrained, because we can't just do it. We have to do a lot of this work during the summer, so it can make it a little more difficult. But that's why the construction manager is important, to plan all that, to phase all this out. And the fiscal advisor would help us plan out the borrowing as well. We don't borrow all at once. We borrow as we need the money. Plan our public relations campaign. Finalize that financial plan. Again, reemphasizing the goal is to coordinate the issuance of the new debt with the retirement of the old, and leverage the use of the capital reserve and receipt of building aid. I haven't really talked about that a lot, but our building aid ratio is about 70%. So that means, in general, for every dollar we spend, we're getting about 70 cents back generally over 15 years. So when you use your capital reserve leverage with building aid, you're actually able to spend a lot more money because you're getting so much back through building aid. And again, the overarching objective would be no budgetary impact, no impact on the tax levy. And that's it. That's all I have.
Thank you. Before we go to the next slide, I do want to remind everyone and kind of go through the history of these goals. So in June of this past year, in 2021, we had a meeting and we approved our goals. And so I just want to remind everybody of what our goals were and just go through. Goal number 1 was using data and organizational processes to identify opportunities to improve student outcomes. Goal number 2 was strengthening community engagement and parent support to enhance relationships between parents, families, and the community. and goal number 3, which was pre-referendum planning, reserve plan update, and long-range financial plan. So those are the 3 goals that we started with. And throughout the year, we would share with the community our updates to what was going on, speak to the board, and then partway through this process, I think the board decided that it was important for them to have a smaller group of people that we would meet with rather than the entire 9 members. So we have a small task force that includes the board president, the board vice president, and Don Beeler to sit with us and kind of go through where we are. Our goal was to complete everything at the end of the year. Again, there were things that mitigated and stopped us from doing that. But one of the things that we recently met, and now we can go to the next slide, is next steps. So one of the things that we are charged with by the task force is to really develop a detailed plan on improving student outcome, right? And using specific data. And Dr. Hassler talked about the data teams. That's going to be critical to our work. It's what data do we consider to be useful? How are we going to use that information? How is that going to allow us to look at gaps for our students? How are we going to support them? So that's an important piece. Number 2 is identify key stakeholders, and that is a variety of people, right? We want to sit down with our staff, with our teachers, with our administrative teams, with our parents, to really talk about what they deem necessary in order to achieve this outcome. And the outcome is everybody's outcome, which is improved student performance. The third is looking at our calendar and using 4 half-days to be able to provide our teachers with professional development. You heard from Mr. Kravitz the importance that our teachers have placed on the ability to have professional development throughout the school year, and also an opportunity to sit and talk about it. And I think that Dr. Hassler talked about district-wide assessments, right? So we need to be able to put our 3rd grade teachers together so that they can take a look at what's important, how we're going to assess our students, and so we need time. So we're looking at 4 half-days. And then the last piece, which is to present the plan to the Board of Education in August of 2022 for approval. So there's about a month and a half that we have to go through to sort of get a detailed plan, because the board has charged us with creating a detailed plan. And that's where we're at. Any questions? Go to the next slide.
I have. Going back to the goal number 2 in regards to the survey, I know it was a lot. There's a lot in there. And I guess parts of what you had mentioned, I guess the only questions that I have are, the first is, I know we've been very data-focused this year, but if we are to change the survey, how will we be able to gauge from this current year's survey to what would be our new survey, let's say, because I'm guessing that the questions and the content would be different.
They would. I think what we would look to do would, I don't want to say approach it just thematically. Obviously, there are areas that we certainly recognize in terms of needs for improvement. And I think if you look at the results, there was the initial results from 17-18, and then in a lot of areas we saw improvement because we were able to focus on it. And then we saw dips in the current year because for a whole host of reasons. I think that reasons that we've probably discussed, often. That's a great question, and that's where the focus group would come in, and whether it's, looking and working with PLC, initially to say, hey, what have others done? But there's an opportunity for all of us to sit with, other school districts and say, okay, what have you done? You've used this group before, or you've used similar groups before. Let's look at the surveys that you've used, but how can you personalize those? So that's ultimately what we would be able to do. I don't think we're not going to have a question 19 is going to be the same,
Right.
Obviously it won't be the same, but we're not the first district to do this, and we'd look at others who have done it and done it well.
Okay. And then also, I know you mentioned that some of the work will begin as early as over the summer when you have your retreat with Mrs. Rodriguez. Is there subjects in there that you are going to look to do something that is building specific? Because I know we had an overarching theme in some of the buildings, but obviously what might be necessary in Sapphire is maybe not what's necessary in the high school. So my assumption is that will be building specific based off of what you see is necessary.
So I think what everybody will see is So we'll have our district-wide goals that will be worked on and worked with the Board of Education. But then every school is going to have, their own specific goals to say, okay, what is it that this specific school needs to do in order to improve or to focus on for the course of the school year? And you're right, maybe not every school needs to focus on the same thing every single, in every single way. Those district-wide goals, though, are something that we could constantly go back to say, okay, let's have this conversation. When we have our small group meetings, whether it's with our building principals or with our data teams or with our grade level meetings, what are we doing to, work towards those goals? But you're right, there will be certainly building specific. And we've already met. I've met with those building principals to say, all right, here's some areas of focus, so they know that they've been working on that already, so that over the summer, we can say, all right, you've had a couple of weeks. Now, obviously, the end of the year is nutty everywhere. But once things die down a little bit over the summer, that's when we can start that work.
Okay. Any other questions?
No.
Okay, thank you. Moving on with committee reports. John, for audit?
We had a meeting last week, and happy to report that the external auditor was very impressed. Everything looked very good. We only heard positive things. The team that Patrick's assembled to manage our finance and everything got very, very high ratings from our auditors. So overall, it's a very positive experience.
Thank you. Do you want to update anything for facilities?
There's been no change since the last time.
I know, we didn't meet again,
Basically, the architect's here today.
Right, exactly. I'll go for policy. We are going to have one final meeting. We are looking to we had to reschedule one or two, so we're looking to possibly add one for next week, the last week of school. So policy committee received an email regarding that. And I will just speak that what we are attempting to do again this year, I do know that audit already has it. So as the committees meet, we will go ahead and get our dates in order for next year so that we can hopefully get those on the calendar when we approve all of our committees at the reorganization meeting in July. So that, again, those meetings are open to the public, and we will do our best to have all of our meeting dates posted prior to the start of the school year. And last, Dawn, visitation?
The last visitation that we did for this year was actually at the little old schoolhouse on Craigville Road. So it was kind of cool to visit that little piece of Monroe-Woodbury history. We have not done anything additionally, but I know that we've been working with facilities towards some of the capital project.
Yes, exactly. We encountered a resident at the schoolhouse. So we evacuated quickly.
He was none too happy to see us
Unwanted,
either.
right?
Yes, he's an unwanted resident that is hopefully getting evicted at some point, as cute as he might have been. Okay,
It was
thank
an
you.
animal, though.
It was a raccoon.
It was a raccoon, just to be
Just wanted to
precise.
make sure that.
But he was perched high above, so I was nervous that it was gonna, so we exited. There's no reason for that. I'm sure Andre or somebody from Buildings and Grounds will take care of it. Reports by board representative. Unfortunately, Omer was not able to join us tonight, and I do not have a report from him. Personnel, Matt?
Thank you very much. I respectfully request approval for the items listed under personnel.
Motion?
Second?
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Patrick for business and financial.
Yes, thank you, Stacy. I also respectfully request approval of the items listed under the business and financial section of the agenda.
Motion?
Second?
All those in favor?
Aye.
And may I have a motion to accept the committee recommendations on special education and preschool special education 18.1 to 18.4?
Motion.
Second?
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Reports by board and central office. Dr. Koifman.
Since this is the last meeting, I wanted to say a couple of words. I wanted to thank the board, the cabinet, the teachers of the district that worked relentlessly and tirelessly throughout this pandemic to keep this school district going. Seeing the students that are going to MIT was very, very encouraging. I am honored to work with this group of people. I did learn a lot about the inner workings of a school district that, quite honestly, I was humbled by it. I think you guys are doing a very, very difficult job. Throughout being a board member, I heard a lot of criticism, oftentimes misdirected at the board and at the cabinet. The criticism that really belongs in Albany and not on the local level. But I guess it's much easier to step up to the microphone and express your frustrations with certain topics without actually wanting a change. We are here to help guide the district fiscally and to make sure that educational goals are met. So I would like to strongly encourage those who spoke out last year to become more active on the state level and address your legislative representatives. Having said all that, I'd like to thank the cabinet, the members of the board again, the teachers, and to congratulate all the award recipients today. You make us very proud, and I wish everybody has a great summer.
Thank you very much, Sergey. Dawn?
So Monday, unfortunately, I missed the senior parade, which is a great tradition that was started a few years ago that I know the students and community loves. I heard it was great. However, I did have the honor to attend the Orange Ulster Career and Technical Education Student Recognition Award Ceremony, in which one of our seniors, sorry if I pronounce his name wrong, Ji Fu Fang, who was the salutatorian. He's an aviation student there, and he did a great job. So we were very proud to recognize him. Yesterday, I attended the senior picnic, so I just want to say thank you to the high school administration and all the staff that worked to put that together. It was a great event for the seniors. Tomorrow, I'm excited to attend the Adler and Covert play at Smith Clove, Rumpus in the Rainforest, and all of the elementary moving up ceremonies for 5th grade. And of course, hope our seniors have a great prom Friday night, an awesome Crusader Carnival next week, and graduation on Friday. Thank you. And Sergey, thank you for your service. It was a pleasure to serve with you.
Thank you. Don?
Yeah, thank you, Sergey. It was a lot of fun. Good to meet you, and you've added a lot to the organization. It's always fun to do the recognition days. Those are, you know, we talk about student outcomes, and the recognition days really are an example of what that can mean. So it's always, I really enjoy days like this where we get to see the fruits of the labors of all the teachers and what they've been able to accomplish with the students. It's very impressive. I think, you know, overall, I think our teachers are extremely impressive, so that part doesn't surprise me that much, but that's it for me.
Thank you. Suzanne?
Yeah, I'd like to congratulate all our commendation recipients, athletes, especially our New York State Championship softball team, and thank our middle school and high school students for the yearbooks. Congratulations to all the retirees and to our graduates. Good luck to all the students who are still taking Regents exams. I hope the graduating class enjoy their prom, and I'm really looking forward to graduation. And Dr. Koifman, thank you so much. It has truly been a pleasure working with you, and I wish you the best in all your future endeavors.
Thank you. Lisa?
I would like to thank the board for their service to the community this past school year, and especially to Dr. Koifman. Wish you well. And I certainly enjoyed seeing the kids tonight. That was really, really great, and I enjoyed the enthusiasm. Happy summer.
Thank you. Varga?
Dr. Koifman, pleasure to work with you, but we will be certainly in touch. Throughout the districts, we have various events. Senior picnic was great. The first ever Sapphire pre-K event was great as well. This is our first year at the high school that we have started since October, what we call Tech Desk. Tech Desk is the help desk that is supported by our students. We have about 6 to 8 students, Liam, David, Brian, Troy, Ronan, Edward. These students, who are generally either the sophomore, junior, or seniors, they have given their either a study hall or stayed before or after their schedule and work to support close to about 200 support calls along with the technology team members. So this is more like a proud moment for personally for me, but also for all of us in general, like this was one of the goals that we kind of dream about 2-3 years before. Big shout out to Mr. Garan, who is our tech coach, our 2 librarians at the high school, Ms. Sherman, Ms. Breen, and a library support person, Lisa Yarmus. The goal is not just to teach our students throughout just the books and assessment and tests, but also take that knowledge and then implement in the real time. So big shout out to our students, and actually out of few students, they will be working with us over the summer to be the real-time experience. So I'm excited about that.
Thank you. Dr. Hauser?
So I was asked to give, before I get to the rest of my comments, a quick update on our end of the year eye-opening enterprises activities. My last update to the board was on March 9th. Since that time, we haven't had any additional district-wide eye-opening training. As I shared last time, we have already completed 3 of the 4 module trainings of the Bridge Ticker program. We haven't had any additional district-wide trainings. However, each of our school-level implementation teams have continued to meet. We also have had a number of different district-wide equity task force meetings. We met in May. We also met yesterday. The purpose of yesterday's meeting was to get prepared for last night's town hall meeting. We held a town hall meeting in the auditorium where we heard from Dr. Pickens. He was here in person, district leadership, as well as representatives from all 7 school implementation teams about the various work that they've conducted. Another initiative that the district-wide team has been working on beyond the town hall has also been the creation of a community center. That work is something, there was a subcommittee that was created from the district task force. However, that's work. We also had our district leadership committee meeting this spring. The community center is something that the district leadership committee is going to sort of take on that role and responsibility in working on that work. And the community is going to hear more about that in the future. Lastly, I think I shared at my last update that we're going to be publishing 2 summaries. The first summary is going to be a summary of the year 1 work that was done with eye-opening enterprises, and then also later on in the summer there's going to be a second summary that's going to summarize the second year worth of work with them. That includes just the overall professional development that was done with the staff, as well as the implementation team work that has been done, and an overview of the district-wide equity task force work that has been completed. A lot of the things that I've been sharing intermittently in my updates to the board. Beyond that, thank you to Dr. Koifman for your service. Most importantly, congratulations to your son tonight, who has he's a very talented musician. So congratulations to you as well. Congratulations to all of our recipients, both last week and this week. You know, this is an amazing time of school year. While it's very, very busy with the events that are happening, you know, it's an opportunity to really be able to sort of see the tremendous things that have happened, you know, certainly over the course of the school year. But I attended the Science Research Symposium, which was at the end of May. I attended the Orange Ulster BOCES the Scholar Humanities Breakfast. Congratulations to Calissa, Jana, and to Maya and Michaela on their recognition for the art and music talents. Very quick thank you to the Curriculum and Instruction Office. We worked very closely with Mrs. Rodriguez's office and with Lisa to put together all of the certificates for all of the students that were recognized. Finally, congratulations to Matt.
Yeah, thanks.
Who, I mean, I don't know if I should congratulate you or not. Matt and I had the opportunity to be able to work together for 6 years as building principals, and it's certainly exciting to be able to work alongside you now on the curriculum side. So, congrats on that.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Patrick.
Okay, I'd also like to thank you, Dr. Koifman, for your service. It's been a pleasure to work with you during your time on the board. Congratulations to all our graduating seniors. Best of luck next year, and have a good night, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you, Matt.
All right, I'm going to just echo what everybody said about Dr. Koifman. I mean, I was a building principal a lot of years ago, and both of his boys came through North Main, so it's been it's a lot of years already. Makes me feel old. You look great and super young. It makes me feel old. But you do a lot of good work, both obviously what you've done just in a short time here, but obviously outside of here, you continue to do awesome stuff. So thank you for all you've done, and good luck with everything you continue to do. Just a few things. There's a high school principal search update, 6 o'clock on Tuesday, June 21st. I'll be at the high school PTA meeting, and we'll also be, there's a Zoom link if anybody is interested in hearing about an update about where we are as far as the high school principal search. I had a chance to talk to Ms. Hock today about graduation, because graduation is the best. It's awesome. It's so great, and it's such an amazing culminating event. And she is, the staff is, this place is very much on track to have a wonderful night. And I would just like to say thank you for the opportunity to kind of shift seats. I started this job in HR 5 years ago when I was a building principal for a lot of years in the district. And I think, like a lot of people over the last few years, you reassess and you reevaluate and you try to figure out what it is you want to be when you grow up. An opportunity presented itself as far as getting back towards working alongside staff and principals and administrators and cabinet members in a different way. And I just wanted to say in advance, thank you for the trust that you're putting in me. I'll work really hard, I promise. I know, and I know you'll be making sure.
We'll hold you
so
to that, yes.
I know you will. Have a wonderful night, everybody.
Thank you. Jamal?
Sure. So I'll be semi-quick. Being the person up here that has served on the board for the shortest amount of time, I feel very confident when admitting that I don't know it all. Being on the board requires a certain level of humility, since we rely so much on the LC, her cabinet, and the administration. So although some may disagree with me, what I'm 100% sure of is that the 8 individuals that I currently have the pleasure of serving with honestly care about the students and families in our district, especially Sergey. He has consistently approached the numerous problems and situations we've encountered with a level head and an open heart. While he'll obviously be missed, I do hope that for the sake of our district, we as a board continue to keep him and his mindset in our thoughts as we continue to think through the decisions we have to make. So long story short, thank you, Sergey. Thank you, Doc, for your voice and your impact, and you will be missed.
Thank you.
Also, a huge congratulations to the students today. They're all gone, of course. Especially Alex and Evan. I saw Evan briefly when I was getting a snack, and I told him that I look forward to working for him in the future. So I'm sure they're going to do great things. Congratulations to all the students tonight.
Thank you. Dan?
I promised Dawn I would speak about this. I went to test drive a school bus. It was an awesome event. It was a big thank you to the bus garage staff and Dawn for putting this together. We are always in need of drivers. It's a nationwide shortage. This was an outside-the-box way of thinking. I showed up there midway through the event. There must have been 30 people standing around getting information. I did get behind the wheel of a school bus. It's not as easy as I would have thought, but I only hit the curb once, but it was a lot of fun. I'm hoping they do this again, and it's as fruitful for getting some new recruits onto the rolls for driving our students around for regular school days and other events that we need to transport them to. Other than that, Sergey, wasn't long enough. I'm glad you were here, and it was fun, and you're going to be missed.
Thank you.
Thank you. Anthony?
Did we get any new bus drivers?
I didn't get a follow-up.
No, we did.
Double-digit recruits.
Yes.
We did.
I think we asked that question, and there were a couple that, yeah.
There were a few, yep.
You inspired them, Dan.
It was awesome. Now my next dream is to drive the custodial floor cleaner around the building a couple laps.
It's a lot of fun.
Oh, they saw you drive.
Oh, look, Elsie's already done
curb,
it.
and they're like, we
Curb
can't let him get this job. We can do better than that.
Well, I'll keep it short.
Should we worry about you,
Dr.
Dan?
Koifman, I just wanted to say thank you for all your service. You've been a pleasure to work with, and you stepped up when the community needed it. We needed another person on the board, and you volunteered to, give us your time, and we really appreciate that. And run again next year. Thank you. Congratulations to all the award winners, and I just want to wish everyone a happy and healthy summer.
Thank you. Michael?
Congratulations to all commendation recipients. I want to thank all the district employees for your support of our students. Otherwise, we would not have such a great turnout tonight with all of those awards being given out. Sergey, I want to thank you for your service, for your energy, for your perspectives. Your presence will be missed. I wish everyone a safe and fun-filled summer, because it is now the beginning of summer and graduations quickly upon us. Thank you.
Thank you, Michael. Elsie?
Congratulations to all of our award recipients. I think it's a testament to the fact that in Monroe-Woodbury, you get a well-rounded education. I want to also thank Sergey for your service. You added so many things, and Jamel did such a nice job of putting it all in a nice moment there. I also want to say you have a great sense of humor. I will miss your great sense of humor because you definitely have a great sense of humor, and you've.
I'll call you weekly with a joke up.
Okay, thank you. That's what I wanted to hear. Thank you, I appreciate it. I also want to thank our staff, and that includes our teachers, our monitors, everyone who works in this district, because it has been a tough couple of years, and it's been nonstop. So I thank you for your hard work and helping us get through a very difficult year. And I do look forward to working with our teachers and looking at safety and coming up with plans that will be suitable for all of us. And lastly, I want to congratulate our seniors. They'll be graduating next Friday, and the weather looks good, so I'm excited for them. And I just want to wish everybody a great summer. Rest, relax, re-energize, and come back ready to do this again in September. So thank you.
Thank you. I, too, want to start by saying thank you to the MWTA for this evening's comments, because I know that while I have been elected to this position and I sit up here with the other board members, we truly do know that the work that happens and starts in the classroom, and that's with our teachers, our coaches, our staff. It could be, anybody who is inspiring our students, and I think tonight is a true testament, and last week as well, to the work that is being done in the classroom. I say it countless times. It is my favorite thing that I do as a board member when I get to interact with the students. I've had the pleasure of being able to do that quite a bit recently. I apologize to those that I cannot attend, as there's only so much time, but I do appreciate being invited, and for those that I attend, it truly does make my day. Maybe not so much the valedictorian and salutatorian luncheon. While I did love it, it really just makes you feel very not smart. But to Eric's point and to Jamel's point, we will someday be sitting, and they are amazing, amazing students. And again, the work that they have done here in Monroe-Woodbury, I couldn't get enough of it the other day. It was absolutely amazing. I might be a little biased that I thought Monroe-Woodbury was the best. I look forward to Mr., forgive me, pronounce his name again, Dawn. Mr. Fong was our OU BOCES pilot. So we learned the other day at that luncheon that it is very possible that he will soon be flying me to my next destination. So I think that is amazing. So thank you to all of that. Congratulations to all of the students on all of their hard work and their achievements. I love being able to honor it. Thank you to the yearbook staff and the students that were able to put that together and dedicate the books and bring them to us. We really appreciate it. I want to say a great farewell to Sergey. It really, truly has been a pleasure. He has been an asset to us, and I'm sure that while you might not sit on the dais, we will be calling on you if needed. So I appreciate your service to us. And I want to wish everybody a great summer. So thank you very much. And with that, I will ask for a motion to adjourn into executive session to discuss legal matter updates.
Motion.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.